This film narrates the journey of a woman whose life follows a conventional path until the arrival of her lively stepson, which adds an intriguing twist to her existence. The dynamics between her and her stepson become inappropriate, breaching established boundaries. With her husband away on a business trip, their relationship evolves, leading to an overly close bond. Despite this, she endeavors to assist her stepson in adapting to their new family structure. For some time, this woman has been compelled to keep certain matters hidden from her husband, but as is often the case, secrets tend to culminate in a dramatic revelation when they eventually come to light. What unfolds next? Continue watching until the conclusion of the movie recap to uncover the enigma surrounding this film. The narrative commences with a lawyer, engaging with a client. Following the hearing, she advocates for a young girl in court, successfully removing her from the media's scrutiny. After her workday, Anne returns home to exercise and is welcomed by her daughters and her husband, Pierre. Pierre is preparing for a trip to Geneva, while their son Theo faces disciplinary action at school due to a conflict with a teacher. Anne takes her daughters to their equestrian lessons. Subsequently, Anne visits the salon where her sister Mina is employed. She confides in Mina about Theo's predicament. Mina's spouse brings their son Luca to his workplace, and the dynamics between Mina and him are quite intricate. Mina engages in a dispute with him at the entrance of the salon, and expresses her delight at seeing her nephew and inquires about the toy his father gifted him, and suggests taking Luca along with her, but Mina declines the offer. Upon returning home, Anne organizes Theo's belongings in the living room before transferring them to his bedroom. Theo emerges from the shower, and she requests that he refrain from scattering items throughout the house. She points out a wardrobe designated for his belongings and remarks on how quickly he has matured. During lunch, the daughters ask about the expected arrival of their father's boyfriend. At that moment, Theo joins the table and requests someone to prepare coffee for him. In a gesture of affection, the sisters present their brother with a considerate gift. The next day, Anne returns home early, addresses work matters over the phone, and heads to the house. Upon arriving at the doorstep, she finds a keychain. Inside, Theo and his sisters are happily engaged in play in the nursery and are thrilled to see their mother. Later that evening, Pierre settles down for dinner and begins to express his grievances to his wife regarding the challenges he encounters at work, and listens with care and recommends that he take some time to unwind. After sharing a kiss, Pierre confides in and about a discussion he had with their son. He articulates his disappointment over the fact that the father has taken in the girls but does not allocate sufficient time for his son. To ease the tension, Pierre opts to retire for the night with his wife. During their exchange, Anne recounts a fond memory of her childhood infatuation with an older man, whom she affectionately called the old man, a man of considerable age. This story amuses Pierre, who becomes intrigued and inquires about his wife's current thoughts on the man's physique as he has aged. The following morning, Theo is discovered smoking in his bedroom, leading his father to admonish him for his actions. Subsequently, his father visits the salon to collect his sister. Upon their arrival at Anne's residence, the women are taken aback to find the place in disarray, having been the victim of a burglary. Anne's bag is conspicuously missing. When Theo returns home, Anne directs him to search his room. At her workplace, Anne engages in conversation with clients Sarah and her father. In a moment of heightened emotion, the man, who has been granted custody of his daughter, accidentally spills a drink onto Anne's desk, resulting in a stain on her skirt. Sarah observes the situation with concern. Later at home, Anne places laundry into the washing machine and opts to wash Theo's trousers as well. While checking the pockets, she discovers a keychain that she had previously found on the street, and approaches Theo to discuss a fine, harboring suspicions that he may have orchestrated the robbery. Theo responds with hostility. She proposes that they keep the robbery incident from Pierre if Theo is attempting to integrate into their family. Subsequently, Anne prepares to gather items for a beach outing. Theo steps in to assist her and extends an invitation to the river. At the river, Anne and the girls enjoy a picnic. Theo savors a burger, prompting and to declare that she will no longer purchase vegetarian steaks. Theo enthusiastically consumes the meat. After their meal, Theo and the twins decide to take a swim in the river. During their time together, he proposes that a woman join their group for enjoyment and, in a light-hearted manner, playfully submerges her head in the water as a jest. In response, she engages in the same playful spirit, and they all head home in a joyful mood. On their return journey, the girls drift off to sleep, and upon arriving home, Theo helps the woman carry the girls to their room. The next day, Anne and Theo enjoy a delightful conversation on the veranda. Nearby, a young boy energetically bounces on the trampoline. At the same time, Pierre warmly embraces his daughter, discussing his forthcoming business trip with her. As the day gives way to evening, Fu is absorbed in a soap opera. Suddenly, his stepmother enters his room, and Fu, taking advantage of the situation, invites her to join him in watching the show. As she sits beside him, Theo impulsively kisses her, imitating the actions of the characters on the television. After this intimate exchange, Anne suggests that Fu should try to move past the incident that just transpired. When Pierre returns from his business trip, he recounts stories from his work. Meanwhile, the heroine struggles with feelings of remorse regarding her recent behavior. Following this, we see Theo investing considerable time with his sisters, recording their reactions to various inquiries using a dictaphone. Eager to involve and in this personal endeavor, Theo extends an invitation for her to participate in an interview, during which she reveals personal and intimate experiences. Clearly infatuated, Theo articulates his wish to enhance his relationship with Anne. However, she advises him to maintain a certain level of distance. Disregarding her counsel, Theo kisses Anne, an action that, despite her initial hesitations, visibly stirs her emotions. In the bedroom, Theo assists the blonde woman in relaxing, hoping she will recognize and appreciate his advancements in the art of intimacy. Shortly thereafter, a lawyer arrives to meet with a client. Observing the girl's unusual behavior, she swiftly contacts the Child Protection Service, requesting a specialist to assess the girl's family circumstances. In the next scene, a birthday celebration unfolds for the twins, where the protagonist's daughters, along with other children, eagerly unwrap their gifts. Amid the festivities, one of the girls requests her mother to fill her water gun. Meanwhile, the woman enters the barn, where she is unexpectedly confronted by Theo, who expresses his desire to alleviate and stress. To her shock, Mina witnesses the interaction between the two and, deeply angered by her sister's actions, decides to leave with her son, despite the ongoing celebration. The following day, Pierre captures a poignant moment on video as his daughters extinguish the candles on their birthday cake. The next morning, Anne eagerly awaits Theo in the garden, intending to engage him in a serious conversation. However, Theo feels slighted by her rejection. She implores him to maintain the confidentiality of their close relationship before departing, leaving the troubled young man behind. They share a kiss, after which Theo confidently asserts that Anne will soon feel envious of his future romantic partners. Shortly thereafter, he joins Pierre for breakfast. Upon returning from a morning jog, Anne overhears Theo and Pierre discussing their plans to spend time together at the chalet. Later that evening, the daughter asks about the activities planned by their father and brother during the holiday, and describes their usual pursuits at the chalet and then reads a bedtime story to the girls. Once the young girls fall asleep, Anne decides to leave a voice message for her husband. Later, she quietly enters Theo's room, where she finds a tape recorder along with several notes. Resolute in her desire to safeguard her privacy, the protagonist decides to eliminate any evidence that could indicate a close connection between herself and the young man. The following day, feeling uneasy about her husband's silence, she takes the girls to the equestrian club, seeking a distraction from her concerns. While driving, her phone unexpectedly rings, prompting the blonde to search frantically through her purse without reducing her speed. As a result, Anne's car swerves and ends up in a ditch. They later return home via taxi, only to find that Pierre has already arrived. During dinner, the girls chat about their mother's car accident while the family gathers around the table. At this time, Pierre chooses to entertain the children with a story about a mouse that gnawed through a pipe, ending with the lesson that not everything can be fixed. As he shares this tale, he casts a glance at his wife, infusing the narrative with a deeper significance. After tucking the children in for the night, the couple engages in a serious discussion. Pierre discloses to his wife the confession he received from Theo, claiming that Theo and Anne had been spending considerable time together in private. The blonde vehemently denies Theo's accusations. Nevertheless, her husband struggles to accept her denial, influenced by the vivid details provided by Theo. Overwhelmed by frustration and feeling trapped, the heroine retreats from the discussion and makes her way to the bedroom to collect her belongings. She is enraged by Pierre's choice to trust Theo over her and discloses to her husband the details of the robbery that Theo had orchestrated. Upon realizing his error, Pierre swiftly recognizes his hasty judgment, embraces his wife, and breaks down in tears on her shoulder. The following morning, as the couple sits together in the living room, they agree that it is time to confront Theo. Pierre articulates his wish for his son to cease his deceitful actions and the slander directed at his stepmother, Han. She firmly reminds the young man that he should conduct himself with greater maturity, while his father insists that he apologize. This demand provokes Theo's anger. After a heated confrontation, Pierre resolves to send his son to boarding school, a choice that profoundly distresses the girls. In the subsequent scene, Theo confronts a woman at her workplace, where he aggressively insists that she confess to an affair between them, and, remaining composed, clarifies her stance to him. She asserts that he must inform his father that he fabricated the tale of their alleged intimacy. Unyielding, Theo threatens to ruin the woman's reputation on Christmas Day. Sarah arrives at Anne's residence, presenting the lawyer with a bouquet of flowers and conveying her heartfelt appreciation for the heroine's support. During the holiday season, Mina, Pierre, and the children partake in the festivities. The mood becomes more cheerful as the sisters mend their relationship, and feels a sense of relief knowing that Mina has pardoned her sister for her connection with Theo. After a delightful dinner, the evening's merriment continues as everyone gathers to unwrap gifts. Pierre astonishes the heroine with a luxurious bracelet, which elicits envious glances from the women present. Following this, Anne and Theo make a joint visit to the lawyer. In a surprising twist, Theo, fueled by a desire for retribution against his stepmother, announces his plan to seek justice for their purported affair. In reply, the blonde lawyer scornfully asserts that her colleague's client lacks integrity. Resolute in their approach to manage the matter privately, the lawyers opt not to make the case public and request that the relevant documents and compensation details be forwarded to them directly. Theo is dissatisfied with the outcome of his proposal. Later that night, he knocks on Anne's door. 1. He is intoxicated and desires to meet the woman. They begin to kiss. The pair engages in this act on the threshold of a heroine's residence. The blonde returns to bed with her spouse. Pierre inquires about the events that transpired, and explains that their son visited, stating that she arranged a taxi for the man due to his inebriation. Nevertheless, the husband observes that the woman did not remain unaffected by this situation. The film concludes at this point. Thank you for viewing until the end.